they've basically given up. Reacting maybe to the nearest enemy, something like that. Something that we don't really give a crap about. We managed to push back this little thrust they're making. That's, I think that's pretty much game over for them. At that point, they can't even potentially really delay things all that much. Couple of rocket tanks cut them off, and they're all dead. Right. Probably out of fuel too. Yeah, that's exactly why they're here. So they have 2 trolls and the Alcor that's capable of functioning somehow. Everyone else is out of the fight. So there's not going to be a real fight. So the fight is already over. Yeah, I'm not going to sit around here and wait with the snakes. Just additional reinforcements. I suppose I might as well stick these atlases out. If someone comes here, it'll at least evade them. No energy for us. I suppose the only thing that really matters is that they have 2 energy less. Everyone needs to be killed, so I do have to harass these guys a little bit. Shoot what you can. Okay, once the bottleneck that there has been closed, I think then we can worry about what else they have here. They had a iron star that can shoot here. So that's I suppose a good spot to think about what we need to do. They do have infantry that can go here, but the Iron Star again. As long as it's there, it's not even worth considering. Very smooth mission. I suppose well, there's a trick to these missions. But even then, I don't know how badly you could fail at this. I mean, I could understand if something like this would be your early Battle 2 experience, but this is the last mission of an expansion that has basically thrown this kind of shit our way constantly. In that way, it sort of seems surprising that the final missions are actually sort of a downgrade in intensity, which is weird. Not sure if that's a horrible thing or not. If you just keep the massive maps are nice once in a while, but you don't really want to play them constantly. These more compact maps that have there's a purpose or a design to them tend to be more interesting. I just wish the medium range missile wouldn't be the thing so often. It's because it's not a good thing. Or maybe that's the wrong way to put it. It's a one-trick pony. It's something that you don't want to see repeated over and over and over again. It can be just fun and entertaining a couple of times, but then it's always the same how you have to deal with it. It sort of doesn't fit into the combat system because it renders basically ground combat pointless. That should not be the case. So it's a nice thing here and there, spice things up. But once it became sort of the standard staple of these fights, it became more of a nuisance than anything else. It's too good. Way too good. Maybe a situation like this, sort of a smallish map, not exactly tiny or anything, but a medium-sized map, where you'd have to push toward the missile and you wouldn't have the luxury of just taking your time and planning things, sending air force and things like that. But the entire point would be maybe a more smaller map with even stricter time limit, or something else, simply that the missile covers the entire relevant battleground right from the start. So every turn you're gonna eat a missile and that's the end of it. If you try to sort of repair things, pull back and things like that, you're just gonna pay a heavier and heavier and heavier price for it. So you'll have to figure out a way to push forward and think on your feet. Certain choices will cause you to fail. Others reach the medium range missile in time and then I don't know what. Maybe even then you can pull back, sort of repair, breathe and then continue on. but how it's used in these missions tends to be always the same. They don't do anything new with it. It becomes stale. Not terrible by any means, just you wish something different for a change. And we got a couple of missions of something different, so it doesn't, I guess, doesn't bother me too much. But it's but it does bother me. It feels like there was a lot more thought into these missions before the medium-range missiles became a standard part of it. After that, sort of, they're not exactly terrible or anything, but there's the box. Enjoyable little missions. But I guess it feels like the progression is raw. We sort of the last fortified city fight might have been a better ending for this. Getting bombarded by a medium-range missile right from the start, not being able to do all that much about it, heavy fortified positions that you're just going to have to push through. Very hard fighting throughout. Something that's not really in your favor at the start, but you have to turn it around. With the missiles, you can turn it around. With the medium-range missile, yeah, comparing these to the two previous medium-range missile missions, this is, I don't know if this is worse, but it doesn't feel that special either. So why did they choose this to be the final chapter? I can't say I would have made the same choice. Well, it's a plot isn't exactly a strong point of this game anyway. It makes zero fucking sense here and there. It's very... There are outlines of a plot, but not really a plot that could end up in some kind of a satisfying climax. Just sort of a... Yeah, there was people who took power, and then sort of we brought them back, and everything returned to where it started from. Whoopie-doo. The plot is there as an excuse to have a game, rather than anyone trying to tell some kind of a story. Well, the Rangers at least can come through that northern gap that we have. Doesn't really change much. I can't use it, so I'll have to push through here anyway. I think it's probably easier to just ignore them and deal with them once we've dealt with everything else. I'm not sure this type of kill everything mission is also good for a last mission. I mean, because the nature of how they tend to play out. They're over long before you can finish it. With a capture mission, it tends to be it reaches the climax right at the end, when you make that last push to end it. So it's again a better fit for a campaign mission, the city attack. Well, targeting primarily combat units. Just need to clear them out. The Alcors will isolate themselves because they always follow the combat units. How are we gonna deal with Ironstar? Serious problem. I don't want to give it too much experience before we can take it out. Seriously, I can't move. I've already moved. I could use a transport helicopter, but I don't think so. It's a bit too slow and tedious for this point. We have enough troops to survive a few turns of Ironstar fire. Especially if we clear this out a little bit. There's maybe like 2 units that are standard fare there. A lot of the others are just milling about for no particular reason. Right. Now the bottleneck is closed. Only rangers and infantry will escape. That's enough. We have enough troops here that we can handle them, hopefully. We could send more. I mean, certain units here are basically doing nothing. They might as well spend their time there. Yeah, we do have a radar vehicle now. Right. That should make things a little bit simpler. Yeah, there's certainly no reason for us to start to be intimidated by the Ironstar. They might be able to take down a unit or two at most. I could potentially move a couple of infantry units there. Would not be a bad idea. Well, one. Two. That should be enough. And if I push forward fairly through, but with a force I can end this quite a bit sooner. We know he has a factory, but it doesn't look like he has all that much else. I mean, this is it. He's gonna have the factory there and maybe one more city in addition to that, but it's all. I'm gonna need some fuel. Right. Definitely gonna need some fuel. But after a little bit of a drink, we're more than capable of pushing forward. Why the fuck did I do that? I blocked the location for the fuel truck. Well, whatever. I'm sure it's a mistake, we'll survive. I think we're gonna encounter our opponents systematically this time. Unless you can hit this. No. Ooh. Yeah. Jesus Christ, Alcors are gonna be tough ones to break through. Still, we're within firing range. It has to be acknowledged. Can't even recharge my goddamn shots now. No good place to really fire on targets. I screwed up. The Imperator will never make it here, so I think I'll send it back to destroying defending the HQ. Okay. At least I can get the units battle ready for the next turn. Well, I can't exactly leave my rear end exposed here, so I might as well leave it. Samurai tank clearing up this mess. Anything else? Yeah, something we need to move. But these will never arrive in the battle area. I don't know why I'm bothering to even move these. No, Iron Star Shields. Okay, they're gonna take down the Techno tracks, which is understandable. They don't have the capability to do shit. Yeah. Not sure why I'm so worried about it. I suppose it comes from the fact that early game that those things are of actual concern, but later not so much. Well, a little bit of a tight defense there, but that's all we got. We should be able to break through within a couple of turns. We have a few vulnerable units here that are pretty much unnecessarily vulnerable, but I don't particularly care. If we lose a unit or two here, it's not gonna matter one way or another. Don't have the room to retreat here. Right. Still, to be able to get at least 2 rocket tanks to move forward. Very experienced rocket tanks. So, their defensive line here isn't gonna last. Do I need to get rid of the Nashorn, or do I want to go for the Techno tracks? I don't think I want to go for the systematic cleansing. We want to push toward so I can attack the Iron Star on the next turn. Might be able to put infantry there, but that's not gonna make any kind of a difference. The purpose of this unit is basically to prevent them from easily blocking this. Nothing more. And if the Iron Star decides to shoot at that, well, wouldn't that be a shame? I don't want to bring in the capture units yet. No point trying to risk them, and they're going to be very useful once we push forward. It's easier to just aim things if you have a little bit of mobility at that point. I suppose we could try to build a bridge a little bit on the edge. It's not going to make much of a difference, but it might. Anything else? Yeah, these two guys are just gonna blockade the northern pass. So, final squeeze to end things. Yeah, he can't really even push one infantry unit back at this point. I don't think the bottleneck is really working for him. Constantly losing ground, nothing you can really do about it. Well, shit. I don't think they have any long-range guns anymore, so we should be able to move forward. At the same time, no point rushing it. I don't want to risk a ooh, what the fuck? Yeah, fortifications. Iron Star is worthless. I don't even want to kill it now. Better to just start removing the others. The point was to basically just shoot it once, so it can't be a threat anymore. But yeah, now it's in full collapse. I don't know if there's much we can do. We'll need a little bit of an ammo refill. Ooh, that's there's no point finishing that. Yeah, much more important to actually get kills. That was screw up though. Ah, god damn it. Anything else I can do? Definitely attacking in a reckless manner, unnecessary casualties and all that, but does it really matter? Important thing is we can put this to an end soon. Now they have a handful of units, they might even have a... that's where the factory is, they might even have a artillery piece. Other items are there, but I just don't see making any kind of a real difference at this point. It's gonna be a 0 experience one, so it can slightly tickle one of our units, and that'll be it. We have a repair spot right south of them, so there's... it's just so hopeless. We have to be somewhat careful about the potential ranger attacks, that sort of thing. Just because we're gonna win this does not mean we can't screw things up pretty badly. That's probably the limit we want to push in there anyway. You need to die. Who the hell is gonna kill you? Don't particularly care about that even at the moment. Do other things. I need to get to threaten his factory very quickly. Yeah, he's got nothing. Okay. I was still a little bit wary, but no, it's there. Might lose the radar plane though. Anyone can attack the Vader. That would be great. To get you repaired. To get ammunition for you, but that's not gonna happen. Shit. Supply problems. That's at least something good that's come from fighting in this bottleneck for the enemy. That's pretty much all of it though. Ammunition. Okay, you're dead if you don't just go away. Ah, crap. Well, they didn't manage to do much this turn. You're sort of few. Another infantry vehicle. I really wish there was some kind of small marker to indicate if someone is carrying something. It's so goddamn annoying that you always have to go into the inventory window of a vehicle to see if it has anything inside. I'm not gonna bother with these, why would I? You need to move though, otherwise you're dead. You might be dead anyway. Okay. Now we have our pretty much full force, weak attack capable. Should be able to destroy their last remaining good combat units. Probably take the factory too. Might not be able to get everything, but it's over. Bravely fighting with a couple of infantry units. So maybe 6 units left. Right, no, a little bit more. Not that it matters. He's used up all his energy, he can't really do much. We have 92 energy. Not much of a factory. We're carrying troops. I don't particularly care anymore. What does it matter? Everything that can be captured is captured. That's about it. Six units left. Use a little bit of repair action. Oh, come on. This will repair these and heal the Alcor. The northern section has enough troops to finish it easily. Okay. Final turn. Ah. Ugh. Nothing happening, and the game has been pretty much over for some time already. Just the finishing touches. And mission end. Right. Anything besides long text screens? And the Leon Dea 2 thing then turned out to be pretty much nothing. Yeah. State of the art animation. Yeah, this sucks. But you don't play these games for the story. So yeah, few final words. I'm gonna keep this short, at least attempt to, since this is just an expansion to a game I've already played. I guess it's an okay experience. I mean, if you like the original game, there's nothing here that heavily diverges from that, so I don't see why you wouldn't like this. It's suffers from the typical expansion problem that it's tried to one-up the previous game, so this at least gets a little bit bloated. Also suffers from the same problems, biggest being that the AI unit production is just isn't good. At times it builds an okay selection of new combat troops, but at times it just focuses on for some reason, on one unit that's somewhat useful, and then just keeps reproducing them until you lose the fight. Alcors being the most plentiful unit in this expansion, I guess. Other than that, it's a fine game. Just fine strategy game. I'm not sure what else I can say about it. I sort of wish the medium range missile didn't exist, or what's used more sparingly. Also, I think the sort of the storyline progress of these missions is more satisfying in the core game. It has a specific goal and it culminates in you reaching that goal. Here, it should have culminated in taking the city. Was it the last couple of missions? Seems like they basically wanted to make a specific number of missions, or maybe they intended to end it at the capture of the city, but then added a few extra maps. In a way, it's unsatisfying, but in a way, it doesn't matter. No one plays this game for the storyline. It's barely there, so it's just a couple of extra missions that have a fairly flimsy excuse of existing, but there's nothing particularly wrong with the missions themselves. My only real complaint, I guess, is that maybe bloating this game. I'm not sure if it's if it's a good point or not. Trying to one-up the core game, because it seems like it's everything more or less was designed and balanced to work what the core game provided. And now when you start adding certain things to it, increasing start basically changing how the sides are balanced or how the units are compared to each other. Is the most blatant example being the medium range missile. It just doesn't work anymore. It's just a clearly overpowered system that should be it should be something that's limited to a mission or two and very specific use cases in those. I think that it's sort of wore out its welcome a bit. because there aren't that many missions. I haven't counted them, maybe uh, around 15, around there something, plus minus 1 or 2. And there's at least 3 missions that are where the medium range missile is a central part in how the mission is going to progress. So there aren't that many missions that have it, but it's a fairly important chunk in them. And that's just at the last part of the game. There's probably earlier on also sections where they're part of it. I do recall a couple. So there's probably more than those 3. And I'm not sure if that word. Maybe the existence of the missiles is not the problem. The problem is that they exist in a sort of a situation where there's no good counters to them. The radar blocking cannot do it, because at the moment visual identification is still a great part in this. This doesn't really work on the radars that much. It can help, but you're still going to constantly eat missiles. That's just the nature of fighting. So, Air Force, I suppose. But every time you have an medium range missile, they have an anti-air capable units and a substantial amount of them. I guess the core there to do is just basically let them suicide themselves on something else. Just pull back for a while, and once the immediate threat is gone, then bring up your units and go. So, and it produces a situation that is it's one of 2 things. If you have the advantage with the missiles, you have the mission in your back pocket already. You cannot possibly screw it up anymore. On the other hand, if the enemy has it and you don't, it's a tedious thing to try to figure out where exactly it can shoot, and just stay outside its range while you make your cleave into the enemy forces and lines and just take it out, and then you start to play things normally. That could have been okay once or twice, but it's like the 3rd Death Star. The 2nd one was stretching it a bit. There should never have been a 3rd one. Besides that, yeah, it's pretty much the same game as the core game. If you don't like it, you're never gonna play the expansion. If you like the core game, you probably will enjoy this. At least a lot of these maps have something to them. There's some kind of trick to them, or that pressures you a little bit, or puts you in a bad position. You have to, at least in certain mission, the option to just sit there and fight it out was an incredibly stupid one. There's always you have to keep your eye on the actual mission and react according to that. I think if I recall correctly, I think in the core game you are sort of set up into your positions and you're supposed to sort of just fight it out, move forward or something like hold your position. Here at least there's more about you might have to realize that the initial position the game delivers you is absolute shit, and you have to have enough understanding and experience in the game that you have to look at what the game has given you and see that, yeah, this is a bad deal for you, and you have to take some action to change the nature of the fight to be more in your favor. So in that sense, this might be more rewarding. A little bit of an extra difficulty in that sense, that the missions are more challenging. So I don't know. Fun enough to play, I guess, but at the same time, I wouldn't want to play multiple missions in a row. It can take quite a lot out of you, because sometimes just getting through the turns can take a huge amount of time, even though you know exactly what you want to do, but because of certain things are how they are, it just takes time. I guess that might be also a reason why sort of the bloating of the game bothers me, because the system sort of starts to stumble more and more once you add increasing amounts of units. This is not meant to, this is a system that is meant to be individually controlled units placed on a vast map. But once you have enough of those individual units, managing all of them in an efficient manner becomes very time consuming. It's a common problem with strategy games. Badly or weak, at least weakly designed strategy game is one where everything goes fairly well early on, but once you get into the later game and you have a lot of units and options, it becomes so tedious and time consuming to manage all this. I mean, it lacks the proper tools, or it lacks the proper balance, that it can take a huge amount of time to get a few turns ahead of the game. This sort of works the opposite. It starts as a huge amount of work to decide what you're gonna do and looking at the situation, but then it gets more streamlined and smoother and faster to, after you played the first half a dozen turns maybe. So in a way I like this. I like this design better at least, but I still don't think the control system handles these massive forces all that well. And this was a pretty average map. This wasn't in any way a bad one. But you can easily have double this amount of units, and a lot of things happening all over the map. Maybe Air Force and ground forces, so I guess in a map like this it's not too big of a deal, but some maps have, you basically have a key unit or two that you cannot reproduce, and certain aspects are tied to that unit, so you can't possibly screw it up in a way that causes you to endanger that unit, and if you do, it's everything all over again. So this could have, I'm not sure if it's a huge problem with the game necessarily, it's more of a getting used to how more developed these systems are in modern games. It's it can get a bit tedious in a more simplified system, where you basically have to remember quite a bit at what's going on. No indication what's in this city. Is there troops or not? You don't really have a good way and tools of managing all this information. But I don't want to shit on the goddamn game for that. I recall when this game came out in floppy disks. That's like what is it? It's 1.44 megabytes of information. It's a small game, so you sort of forgive certain things. It would not have been possible to produce something that you would expect from a modern game. So it's just something you can't really get too bothered about. But yeah, more of the same enjoyable strategy.